Greetings, dear viewers. Welcome back to Candid Farmers. I am your host, Mogi. In this video, I am going to talk about inbreeding. What is inbreeding? How does inbreeding occur, or how does it happen? Is inbreeding a good thing or a bad thing? Stick around and enjoy this video. Thank you so much to my returning subscribers. Thank you for always coming back to watch the videos right here and supporting the channel all the time. All the viewers who have left correspondences, who have liked the videos, if you have left a comment, if you have shared the video, thank you so very much. I am very grateful for you helping out in supporting the channel. To the first-time viewers, my first-time audience, thank you so very much for deciding to watch my videos. Please consider subscribing and become a part of the Candid Farmers family. Remember, on this channel, we share knowledge. This is a channel where we encourage each other. We share knowledge, we advise each other, and remember, we are going on this journey together. I invited you, and I still invite you. If you did not see the invitation, I invite you to please come on this farming journey with me. So let's talk about inbreeding. We are talking about our animals, and in this particular case we have goats. All right, inbreeding is where animals of the same family mate, hence giving birth to new babies. Now, this is the focus, or we are going to be discussing inbreeding in this video. Let me give a practical example of inbreeding. Let us say we have our herd of goats right here, and we have a male. Now, obviously, if we have one male, we expect the male to mate with all our goats, hence giving babies, right? Now, when our female goats give birth to babies, okay, inbreeding occurs when the young goats which were birthed as a result of our one male, which initially mate with our goats, if they give babies, obviously their father is one. Now, when the babies mature to a stage where they reach a stage of mating, so if those babies given birth to every single one of these female goats, if they mate amongst themselves, remember the father is one. Okay, so inbreeding not only happens if young goats or the goats which were given birth to by one of the goats mate, but also if their father is the same, that is inbreeding. You know what I'm saying? So in brief, if we have one male, that male mates with all our female goats, hence giving birth to young goats. If those goats reach a stage of mating and they mate amongst themselves, so that is inbreeding. Also, if our female goat gives birth to multiple babies, 2, 3, whatever number, And then sometimes one goat may give birth to a male and a female goat. Now, if those once upon a time young goats grow up and reach a stage of mating, and then they mate between themselves, that is still inbreeding. Now, inbreeding is not a good practice, in animal husbandry. It's not a very good practice because it's just like in humans. If a goat has a certain characteristic which is not good, for example, it is intolerant to diseases, it is not resistant to diseases, okay? So that trait will exhibit in the young ones. We are talking about the male goat. If it has a characteristic or a quality such that it is weak, prone to diseases, or physically weak, so that character will be passed on to the young ones. Now imagine the same trait of intolerance to diseases in a female goat and a male goat. Remember, it was passed on by the same father. Now imagine the same trait being possessed by a female goat and a male goat, and then those two goats mating. Obviously, the outcome will not be very, very good. So we must avoid inbreeding to avoid such instances occurring. I will give an example. There are goats which are born weak. You know what I'm saying? A goat is weak, naturally weak. You see it from when it's very young. It cannot support itself. It cannot suckle by itself. You know what I'm saying? Now, inbreeding is not the only cause of a goat giving birth to weak young ones. Don't get me wrong. That is not the only cause, but it can be a contributing factor. Now, while inbreeding can be avoided, we need to avoid it. How do we avoid inbreeding? We avoid inbreeding. Now, it's let me say this. If you're grazing on a free-range system, like we are doing, it can be difficult, okay? But what you can do is you can change the male. So when you have this male on your farm for a long time, and then you realize that, oh, this male has been mating with my female goats for a long time now, and you have young ones which have grown to a stage where now they are ready to conceive. So what I would advise you, I would highly encourage you to change the males. You can have an exchange program with other farmers. So what you do is you give out the male that you have on your farm to other farmers, other nearby farmers, and then you introduce another male. So now you have the mothers and the young goats which these mothers bred. Okay? Now, if you introduce another male, that means this new male can freely mate with the mothers and the young ones which these mothers gave birth to. Let me take you a little bit back. The The other aspect of inbreeding that I did not discuss is, you know, remember you have this male goat which is responsible for mating the female with the female ones on your farm. Now, when the mothers give birth to young goats, a time reaches when those young ones grow to a stage where they are ready to mate. So, if you leave this father on the farm and the father mates with those young ones, with his daughters on the farm, we are talking about goats, guys. Do not, take this out of context. That is still inbreeding. So we have to avoid inbreeding. So I'm talking about creating an exchange program. Give out these, if you have multiple males which mate with your goats on the farm, okay? So what you do, give them out. Okay, let me get these goats. So, create a program, an exchange program, where you can give out the males on your farm and introduce other males from another farm, thereby, avoiding inbreeding. Or sell out, if you don't have the exchange program, if it's not possible, sell out the male goat that you have and buy another male. So, guys, inbreeding can also cause to a degeneration. If you start with goats which have muscles long, long in size from head to tail, high up, very tall from toe to back, and then they keep inbreeding, degeneration will happen where those qualities, if you initially started with a long goat, they will reduce in size. If you started with a tall goat, you will see that they will start giving birth to a small goat or a goat without muscle. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video.